Eagles fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles fly.
For a
Touchdown,
touchdown,
1, 2, 3.
hit 'em
And
low,
row,
hit
hit
'em
'em
high,
high.
and
And
watch
watch
our
'em
Eagles
Eagles
fly,
fly.
fly,
Fly, Eagles
Eagles fly,
fly.
on
On
the
the
road
road
to
to victory.
victory.
Eagles,
Eagles!
Eagles! Welcome to episode 30 of the MMG podcast with my good friend, Gocubs 711.
I bet you thought this was a podcast, but it's a Tide ad.
God damn it. Welcome, everybody, to the Super Bowl recap and the season recap show, the grand finale of what has been one of my favorite seasons in memory, and the chaos just keeps on happening. We got breaking news right before this, but we'll wait on that. We'll sit on that for a little bit, make it nice and warm.
Yeah.
But we had quite an interesting weekend. Started with the NFL honors, and all the great awards, everything happening. But the real action obviously happened on Sunday, the big game. What we have been preparing for this entire time. Who would end up being on top, and it turned out being the underdog when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
We're gonna start though. We're gonna go just a little bit back to Saturday, and we're gonna start with the NFL honors. So this is before anything that we knew about the game happening, all that, and we got the results in, and as expected, Tom Brady is the MVP of the league.
Yep.
That was no surprise. I was going to be very shocked if that was not the case. Offensive player of the year went to Todd Gurley, though, so that at least they didn't double up there. Defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. And then you had the rookies. Coach of the year, I believe, was Sean McVay. So that actually
3 Rams.
Yeah, 3 Rams.
3 Rams.
I think they're the first team ever to sweep those 3 awards. 3 Rams.
3 Ram.
And you have 2 rookies, Alvin Kamara, Marshawn Lattimore, and they're both from the Saints, who won their respective positions. Offensive rookie is Kamara, defensive rookie is Lattimore. So that, again, none of those were really surprises. Comeback player of the year was Keenan Allen. And then we had, I think, the most important out of all of those. Well, Walter Payton, the man of the year, was J.J. Watt. I mean, that was pretty important. But
that was definitely the most important.
We did get the Hall of Fame class for this year. And Go Cubs, I'm sure you're happy. Who's in there?
I am very happy. Brian Urlacher is in the Hall of Fame. The best Bears player in my lifetime.
Yeah, he certainly has he absolutely was, from what I saw from the tapes, it's just the one defensive Bears player on the field that really was the one making plays all the time.
Yeah. There were others, but he was the main one. Growing up in suburban Chicago, there was probably a 70% chance that if someone was wearing a Bears jersey, it was 54.
Yeah, he was the defining bear of the 2000s, and he rightfully gets his Hall of Fame jacket. He will in August, along with other star linebacker, probably more notable, but I think we'll be Urlacher fans here. Ray Lewis of the Ravens, who generational player, and he gets his first He gets in with his in first year eligibility, as well as two wide receivers. Both Terrell Owens and Randy Moss got in, so no more people complaining about Terrell Owens being out of the Hall of Fame. And Randy Moss gets in his first year, which is levels that we have not, um, you know, that we have not seen, since Jerry Rice. Like the two of them are just they go hand in hand in comparisons a lot of times. Rice and Moss, so it's pretty cool. And then Jerry Cross was the only guy I did not expect to get in, and he did. He was a Packers guard, and then Brian Dawkins got in for the Eagles. Started a good weekend for the Eagles. And then Robert Brasil of the Houston Oilers, legend, and then Bobby Beathard, the general manager for the Redskins and the Chargers as well. So that's your class. Very fascinating. I think my early Hall of Fame prediction, for in terms of teams that will face each other, I could see Ravens Eagles. I could see Ravens Bears. I definitely think the Ravens are gonna play. I don't. As for anyone else, I don't know. I'm thinking it'll either be Bears, or Packers maybe for Jerry Cross, Eagles for Brian Dawkins. I don't know. It's not really an important game at all, but it's interesting. It's like the first game that's announced and scheduled for the upcoming season. So.
Yeah.
Worth keeping on top of that. So that's that. That was the Saturday. We wanted to get through that. Wanted to talk a little bit about that. So then we get to Super Bowl Sunday. I wake up and I had a weird epiphany this weekend. Because I was thinking about this a lot, and I really do respect the hell out of the Patriots, and I kind of went into this game, saying, if they won it again, I'm not going to be upset. I mean, I'm going to be sad that the season ended in a predictable manner.
Yeah.
But I felt like that of all the teams, that we have seen over the, that we have seen over the years. The Patriots have always been in the mix, and they're just a dominant force, and you can't say that they haven't shaped the way we watch football over the last few years. And when they're gone, it's gonna be kind of sad when they are gone. So there's a part of me that was just kind of like, this is not gonna last long with this team. So I was just like, it fine. I'll accept whatever. But there's a lot of people who felt like the Eagles had a good chance at it, and I was like, you know what? I just hope that it's a really good game, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna actually pull up a little bit of just to remind myself of how it all went down.
Go for it.
Yeah. So kickoff happens. Patriots got the ball, or won the coin toss and deferred. So that's. That was, the usual with the Patriots. They always like deferring, which I completely agree with. You want you want that ability to either come back or add on to your lead in the second half. You never really want to start with the ball. I don't understand why you wouldn't, but regardless. And so the Eagles start out. They drive nicely down the field and get a field goal. Patriots do the same. Really nice drive down the field, get a field goal. Then it broke out into a track meet. The next drive for the Eagles, all the way down the field, with a beautiful touchdown to Alshon Jeffrey, I believe it was, by Nick Foles. Really nice play. And then the Patriots. First of all, Jake Elliott, who's had a great year, had a really bad extra point kick that ended up making it 9-3, not 10-3. Mm-hmm. Then the Patriots came in, drove down the field, and I guess Steven Gostkowski looked at Jake Elliott and started to get those nerves as well, because he ended up. I think that first kick was botched by the holder.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so that was a missed field goal on that front. So the Patriots came away with no points on their next drive, and then that was followed by an Eagles punt, which was, I believe, the only punt in the entire game.
It was.
And then the Patriots, they tried to move down the field. They went for it on fourth down, and they could not get the ball to Rob Gronkowski. It fell incomplete, and then the Eagles took over and marched down the field. LeGarrette Blount with an angry run into the end zone, making it 15-3. They went for two, which was a fascinating decision. I kind of was like, all right, I agree with that. Many people did not. And yeah, it was a bad decision overall because they did not get it, so it remained 15-3.
Yes.
Next, the Patriots march down, get a field goal. It's 15-6. And then the Eagles have an opportunity to really extend the lead. Instead, on a Nick Foles deep pass, which looked really good, ended up being tipped by Alshon Jeffrey, and I forget who was covering Alshon Jeffrey. I believe Stephon Gilmore, and it was intercepted by Harmon, and Harmon ended up sitting at the 8-yard line. Then the Patriots were able to march down the field, and James White had his own angry run into the end zone, so that made it 15-12, right back in it. But then the Eagles' touchdown drive that basically defined this Super Bowl, even though it was in the first half. They marched down the field. They're at the goal line. Can't get it in. It becomes 4th and goal. And they decide, no, we're not playing it safe. We're not going to kick a field goal here. We are going for it. And what is the play, Gocubs, that they called? What was what was the title of it?
I forget. Don't know what the title is.
The title is Philly Special.
So the Philly Special.
Yeah.
Foles walks away from the center. Corey Clement snaps it, passes it off to someone else. He throws a touchdown pass.
Trey Burton.
What?
Trey Burton is the
Trey Burton, right? Who then throws to the receiver, Nick Foles, for a touchdown. Not only that.
Yeah, earlier in the game,
the Patriots tried to do something pretty similar, but Tom Brady couldn't catch the ball. The difference in the Super Bowl is that Nick Foles could catch a pass thrown to him, and Tom Brady could not.
Oh my goodness. And you don't expect shit like that to happen, and it was a glorious play. I was so excited to see that happen. A lot of fun overall. And that essentially ended the half. I don't believe the Patriots did anything. I think they tried to march a little bit down the field. I think they tried to throw it and try to move it down quickly, and they couldn't do it. So that ended the half. So then we reach halftime, and what was your opinion of Justin Timberlake?
Shitty audio production.
This is really shitty audio production, yeah.
And Justin Timberlake ending an okay show with his worst song.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's your most popular and your most recently popular one, but it's a bad song.
What was that one again? Was it
the dance one?
From Trolls, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also the fucking feature song for Trolls. Like, that song wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the movie Trolls. And Justin Timberlake has to live with that for the rest of his life. Not only that he wrote a song for the movie Trolls, but that he was the voice actor of the deuteragonist of Trolls.
Oh,
he wasn't even the main fucking character. He was second bill.
I mean, what can be said about that? He also was wearing something really, really weird. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what exactly was going on there. Like some sort of deer T-shirt and like camo jeans or whatever.
Someone put it. I think it's a Bob Ross painting.
So he literally just became a meme. Speaking of memes, the kid that he ended up taking a selfie with in the stands, like
No,
somehow he got in the stands, which I don't know how you do when you're performing a
yeah.
halftime show. Gets up in the stand and takes a selfie with this random kid, and then there was a photo taken of the kid looking at his phone, and it became like a where he would be like looking up weird Google searches.
Like,
It's
who is Justin Timberlake?
yeah, who the fuck is just like, oh my god. And
Uh,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
is there anything else really of significance on his part? Because there was no guest stars either, like nothing.
There was the Prince thing.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
which was cool in theory, but a lot of Prince's close family did not want that.
yeah. Well,
So
they were yeah. People were saying that like he didn't want a hologram, and technically it was not a hologram. It was
no,
just
but
him.
it's still not the message. It's like the it's still the principle of the thing that they didn't really go with.
Right. Yeah. I get where they're coming from. It is Minnesota. They've been playing Prince music all week, and I mean, you would have expected for a Minnesota Super Bowl to have a Prince reference in there somewhere, but uh,
The lights around the stadium to look like Prince's logo were pretty damn cool though.
no, yeah, the purple thing
Yeah,
that's insane. Um, and so that all happened. And what was the what are what were like some of the commercials that you felt like were good this year?
Tide, Tide nailed it.
Yeah,
Uh,
the guy from Stranger Things was basically including himself in every single universe of every single ad, and instead of it actually being an ad for something,
it's like
uh,
wear his
they
clean clothes. It's actually a Tide ad.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh, can't really remember anything else.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, well, I gotta talk about the Giants duo, of
yeah.
course, and Manning and Odell. Um, yeah, they kind of recreate Dirty Dancing and all that, and I really enjoyed the ad. I know those are like the two guys that get like the most scrutiny on the Giants, but I think
They're
it's
also the only good players on the Giants, so
yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say so much about Eli. I think there's some good defensive players in the mix there, but no, yes, Eli is probably the most notable Giant. And same with Odell. That his leg looked good, by the way. He completely shattered it, and he looked good during the commercial.
yeah.
Um, but hey, they had it was really funny. I heard that someone reported from the stadium that they aired it during timeout during the Super Bowl, and like it was a stadium filled of Patriots and Eagles fans applauding them, which you know like that never happens. The Giants are
Yeah.
so fucking hated by both of those teams, so that's that I felt was really funny. I also love the a man. Why was it? What's the Amazon Siri? What the fuck is it
Oh,
called?
Alexa.
Alexa. The Alexa
Yeah,
commercials where they had like celebrities stand in and
that
all
was
that.
okay. I told you that the Bud Light was gonna have a
Yeah,
some sort of big scene with the Bud Knight. It wasn't spectacular, but it was like, huh, I don't know.
yeah,
I thought it was good.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think this was a better year for commercials. I don't think it
Yeah.
was. I don't think it was a bad year. I think because there was like been times where it's been really borderline cringy. Some of the commercials, they're like, "Why is this a thing?"
I think that there was a time where uh Super Bowl commercials were hailed as the greatest things ever made. Uh uh Especially I just remember let's say 2004 through 2008 or so. That was something that you looked forward to. And then from there, the expectations the line of expectations became higher than the line of quality. Below that, before that, the line of quality was was above expectations. So it's like, oh my god, that's awesome. And then the expectations just kept getting higher and higher. The level of quality didn't reach that. So then in like 2008, they started like there were like one or two funny ones, but nothing like super memorable. And so like for 2008 through like let's say 2016, like we've been in this like expectations above range, but they've been so bad that we started to go down. So now we're below that. I think we might start to be getting below that, so the commercials seem better now.
Right. I think yeah. I would agree with that assessment. I think that's I think that they didn't really have to go too all out for any of those commercials. You know,
Yeah,
like the Doritos commercial, Mountain Dew commercial too, with Peter Dinklage, Morgan Freeman, and all that. Like
yeah,
that was
that was cool. That was
that,
a cool commercial. It wasn't a funny commercial.
yeah, it was a cool commercial. I liked how they did it. I think um, I know my sister was just like, why couldn't they do two Game of Thrones Game of Thrones characters because they fit the Fire and Ice theme? But I was just like, all right, well, Dinklage is enough, and Morgan Freeman's just Morgan Freeman. You just accept his presence. Um, but no, I thought that was even good. It wasn't even trying to be funny, like you said. And you had your fair share of political statement commercials as well. You had some of from Coke and you had WeatherTech actually take the other side of it. So that we also saw subliminal messaging
Dude,
there.
I think WeatherTech taking a stand against like corporations moving to other countries is pretty anti
Well, what's
anti corporation.
eh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
Like we're made in America. It's actually made near my hometown actually.
right. Well, it was
But
the idea, like if you watch the commercial, it looks like they're like building a wall, and that they're saying like
they're building a fucking factory.
they're building right, but well they're building a factory, but like we keep our factories in America.
Yeah, because that's where if they're in America, it's more expensive, and that's why people move stuff overseas. But like, all right, we're not getting political. Sorry. Adds to the American economy is what it is. And then Coke used singular them in their commercial, and that was pretty neat.
Right. Yeah. It was an interesting bundle of statements that were made. But regardless, I think it is I think it's going to be very interesting going forward if the Super Bowl commercials remain at a nice even level. They don't try to outdo themselves or anything. That they do what they do. I also was there a Budweiser commercial this year?
I don't think so.
I'm surprised. They always have a commercial.
Yeah, I think they just said that whole they just were focusing on the Bud Light stuff so much that they didn't decide to do Budweiser.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh yeah, Dilly Dilly and all that. Yeah,
Dilly Dilly.
Dilly Dilly that was also a frequent part of it. All right.
That was like the whole season, but whatever.
Yeah, it's true. That it had to
Dilly
come to
Dilly.
a head at some point. All right.
Yeah.
Enough of the Super Bowl sideshows. All right. Fuck the Kitty and Puppy Bowl. No, I'm kidding.
What?
I'm kidding. Those were adorable.
Dude,
Anyways.
one of the coaches' name was George Howless. Like, come on.
Oh my god. This is just I'm sorry. I keep on getting distracted by the other news item. We'll get to it. Anyways, I'm sorry. End of halftime. We reach we get back and the Patriots, they get the opening kickoff, and and the series of drives by the Patriots, they very much stayed with the one consistent player I saw. And no one really talked about this, but it really was weird. They started this drive, they were just hitting Gronk constantly. Gronk was catching almost every single pass, and then he ended up catching the touchdown and getting the score. So that ended up making it 22-19. Well, let's see if the Eagles respond. They marched down the field, and then Nick Foles was a really nice pass to Corey Clement. It ended up being reviewed because it looks like his toe stepped out of bounds, but it looked like the ball was retained before he lifted his foot off the ground and he got the other foot down. So it was a weird little sequence, but they got it 29-19 at that point. The next Patriots touchdown drive was the star was Chris Hogan. He was the guy that was getting all the passes for the most part, and it led to Chris Hogan getting the touchdown pass as well. And then the Eagles, they got their opportunity again to march down the field, but this time, and this was the moment that I was just like, all right, this is how it's going to end. Eagles are going to get a field goal, Patriots going to take the lead, and they're going to keep it. This is how it goes. They get the field goal. Very nice kick by Jake Elliott, 42 yards. And then the Patriots' third drive was, a lot of it was Amendola with a Rob Gronkowski touchdown. So now it's 33-32, and I just about am at a point where I'm like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's call it. We're done. But not yet. The Eagles, they kept the ball for a while, and I was just like, if they hold on to this ball long enough, maybe they can just move it down to like the 10-yard line, 5-yard line, call a timeout, and kick a field goal to win this whole thing. They don't do so, and instead, at one point in the drive, they are at fourth down, and they get a nice pass to Zach Ertz, who was in the air when he caught the ball and went in for the first down, and then he caught the touchdown with about 2:21 remaining on the clock to get the score. That was also reviewed to see if he completed the process of the catch. I cannot wait for that goddamn fucking stupid rule to change. Zach Ertz with the touchdown, with his wife present. That was a big storyline with his U.S. soccer team wife being there and being adamantly part of it. And he had a monster game for himself as well. He gets a touchdown, so now it's 38-30. Well, it was 36. I'm sorry. It was 38-33. They go for the two-point conversion and they fail. So they really sucked on two-point conversions, and they ended up making them chase points a little bit. And then, with 2:16 left on the clock, the Patriots have the ball, and I'm like, they gave Tom Brady too much time. Everyone on Twitter, they gave him too much time. We've seen this movie before. The Patriots, we've seen them do this time and time again. But what happens? Brandon Graham, an underrated defensive player for the Eagles, gets behind Brady, knocks the ball out of his hands. The rookie, Derek Barnett, who was drafted in Philadelphia, picks up the ball and recovers the fumble, and the Eagles are set up in Patriots territory to extend their lead and begin to ice this Super Bowl. First, they have to score. They could not convert on the first down. Instead, they opt for the field goal. It becomes 41-33. And then the final drive of the game was the Patriots. They needed a Hail Mary in order to at least get it to overtime. They could not do it. Tom Brady threw the ball to a plethora of receivers, including Gronk, and they could not get the completion.
Wow. Eagles win.
Eagles.
And there was much rejoicing.
The Eagles are the Super Bowl 52 champions. This is their first ever Super Bowl. Their first championship since 1960. I labeled the Super Bowl the Philly special. I think a lot of people do. This was the Philly special. And I wrote down a bunch of notes because I wanted to just really top this all off. I
have two things to add, though.
No, you can go first because I did a lot of talking just now.
Right. Yeah, my first thing is defense wins championships.
Yep.
This was a very high-scoring game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense was the one who ended up making the play in the end that practically sealed the game with stripping the ball from Brady when it really fucking mattered.
Right.
So you can have the best offense in the world. You can have the Patriots' goddamn offense, but if you don't have a good defense, who can make plays, not just stop the offense, but make plays like that, you are not going to win a championship.
Right.
Secondly, shit, what was my second point? Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. I remember now. This season has been like one surprise after the other. The Jaguars, Vikings, and Eagles were all in the Final Four. None of them have won a Super Bowl.
Right.
And then there's Patriots, obviously, but whatever. The dude who got traded out of New England and signed with the 49ers is still an undefeated starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What else weird stuff happened.
Well, you had the Rams and the Titans and the Bills all make the playoffs. The Rams had a dominant year. They all again dominated those coaching and player of the year awards.
Yeah, all that stuff happened. The Seahawks and Packers didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
They were absent from that. 5 out of the 6 NFC teams had not made the playoffs the previous year. 3 out of 6 for the AFC. This has been the year of team chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that this would have had a satisfying ending is, well, if the Patriots weren't in the Super Bowl, it could have gone either way. But the fact that the team that was number 1 for the first 13 weeks of the season until Carson Wentz's injury were the underdogs in the playoffs. They had clinched the number 1 seed, but they were underdogs throughout every game in the playoffs. And a backup quarterback led that team to a victory is the ultimate team chaos power move. I love it. It was a great win. I'm so happy for Nick Foles. I hope that Carson Wentz, because I do think Wentz is a better quarterback than Foles. I do hope that Carson Wentz leads this team to soar even higher in the future, because it was great to see this year, and I would not be sad to see it next year or in the future. Maybe not next year, but
absolutely.
See how well they can continue to do, because Wentz deserves to start in the Super Bowl, and it's a shame that injury had to happen to him.
Yeah, I want to build on that point in just a little bit, and I think that it really is I think it is the perfect way to end it. I would dispute the fact that I would have loved to see like the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. I would have preferred that, but
right.
I think there is something. I mean, this is in hindsight, of course, but knowing that the Patriots got to the Super Bowl and lost, like in my eyes, that's what makes it so much greater in the fact that what the Eagles pulled off. You know what I mean?
Quarterback defeated Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Exactly. Like that to me, in hindsight, after looking at it and being like, wow, that actually happened, like they just really stonewalled a dynasty with the performance that they had. And on that point, to start, I have just a few points to go to. Backups beat legends on Sunday. It was not just Nick Foles. Doug Peterson spent the majority of his NFL career as a backup quarterback. Brett Favre being, he was behind Brett Favre for a while. He also did have stints with the Eagles and the Browns and quite a few other teams. And of course, as I noted a few weeks ago, Doug Peterson did beat the Patriots as a quarterback with the Browns. So now he's the first person ever to win against the Bill Belichick led Patriots as both a quarterback and a head coach.
Wow.
So there you go on that front. But it wasn't even just Doug Peterson either. If we look at last year's Super Bowl as one of the greatest playoff comebacks of all time. The greatest comeback it was the greatest comeback in all of Super Bowl history.
Yes.
But the greatest comeback in playoff history was the Buffalo Bills overcoming a 32-point deficit to the Houston Oilers. uh, back in like I think it was like early '90s, um, and it's like 1995, 1996, around there. The quarterback was Frank Reich, who is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, backups beat legends. It was a plethora of backup quarterbacks that took on this golden team, and they pulled it out. Um, Nick Foles is legendary. He's gonna go down as a Philadelphia legend. He had that amazing season back in 2013 with the Eagles. I think he still holds the record for one of the highest passer ratings in a season.
Yeah.
He just had this incredible run. It just came to the point where Chip Kelly didn't want to keep him, and so that kind of that's what led to the trade of Sam Bradford and Nick Foles, and Nick Foles ended up with the Rams. The Rams did not treat him well. Jeff Fisher, he just bad stories just keep on coming out about him, and his last moment as a Ram was on the Rams Hard Knock show, where he was on the phone and Jeff Fisher called him to cut him early in the season. That's before where they cut the players later on. No, it was like episode 1 that cut Nick Foles. That was like the first thing that happened on that Hard Knock show. And it was at that point that Nick Foles was considering retirement. And then he's just like, he gets a call from Andy Reid. Andy Reid is, he wants to bring him to Kansas City. So that happens. Nick Foles gets a chance in Kansas City as a backup. And then he heads to Philadelphia, where former Kansas City coach or offensive coordinator Doug Peterson, now the head coach there. And it's a story that is going to be remembered for years, especially in Philadelphia, but just in general. It's one of those once in a lifetime NFL good feeling stories. This guy was going to retire to be a priest. Instead, now he's back, and he's on top of the world, holding the Lombardi Trophy as confetti is rained down on him. It's amazing. Doug Peterson is a fucking mastermind. He has been a great coach all year long, and I truly think if they counted the postseason and counted the Super Bowl, I think that they should. I think Doug Peterson overall would have gotten the head coaching award, the coach of the year award, because he just time and time again, no matter what, after that bye week that they got for being the number 1 seed, they were able to prepare for, I think, what ended up being the 3 best NFC teams in the playoffs, or the two best NFC teams in the playoffs, and then the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like that, him and his staff did such an amazing job in this game, in the game before that, in the game before that, and every single time he has proven himself. So many people were like, he might not be a good coach. I think I probably said something to that effect earlier, before the season started. Like, no, he's not really that great of a coach. He completely proved the world wrong, and it's just incredible. One of the main stories of this Super Bowl was Malcolm Butler. This is the frequent talked about storyline, and he was benched immediately. He only came on for one special teams play, and many people were wondering, well, where the hell is he? Instead, he was replaced by Eric Rowe, and the Eagles tore him apart on defense. Now, I know...
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships, but it was so weird though, because like I and then people are saying like, oh well, what if he's in, if he's in, then the Patriots ended up winning the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's certainly. I think that definitely probably would have been. It would have been a huge factor, a huge help for them. but overall, the situation is just very strange. Bill Belichick thinks he keeps on saying, I just made the right call that I think was, made the call that I think best got us a chance to win, and he was very adamant and stuck by his decision and all that, but there's reports about him being out late for a concert. He was sick earlier this week, just dealing with an illness. Missed the flight to go to Minnesota. Had to catch up with the team. Just missed the curfew and didn't have a great week of practices. Like there's a few aspects that have been reported out there. Malcolm Butler has since refuted those, saying that he would never go out and do anything irresponsible during Super Bowl week. So I don't really know what's happening on that front. But his time in New England is over, and it's kind of a shame for a guy who is a hero, very similar to Nick Foles almost. Back in 2014, no one knew who this guy was, and he made the biggest play of his life on that interception. One of the great plays in Super Bowl history, and certainly in Patriots history, with the interception. And now, even after a Pro Bowl season, in 2015 and 20, I think he went to back Pro Bowls last 2 years, and he now is just not being used. He wasn't used at the end. Very confusing situation overall on that front. So that'll be interesting to follow. Most yards ever in a Super Bowl game, or I'm sorry, most yards ever in a game. Period.
Yeah.
Never. What broke a 1950 record. That record was old as shit, and these teams broke it in a game that defenses were supposed to play really well. Supposedly, the Patriots defense was supposed to be this great unit, and the Eagles have been known as a really great unit, and both just did not, one big play really turned it all around for the Eagles. But 1,151 yards in that game, insane. First NFC champion to win Super Bowl since the Seahawks.
Yeah.
There's your NFC pride right there, finally
Third.
showing up.
Fucking finally NFC, Jesus.
Yeah, there was a drought. I know that people who are longtime NFL fans were like, AFC didn't win for like 15 years in like the 90s. Give me a fucking break. But no, I'm glad that.
Yeah, but I hate the AFC, so.
But yeah, well, I will stick by that. I will let the NFC off the hook now because they finally got their championship. Come on, AFC, knock the Patriots off, all right? Let it not just be the Broncos. Get your fucking asses together and beat the Patriots next year.
Someone other than the Patriots, Broncos, or Steelers. Literally anyone.
Yeah, I guess you could include the Steelers in there as well. And then
you gotta have something.
Yeah, you gotta produce something. I think people are saying that the Jaguars have the best chance right now.
Portal up.
So who knows? Next is NFC East is the first division to have all Super Bowl winners. Every single team has had a Super Bowl. Not a single division has that. NFC North, the Vikings, Lions is still looking for their Super Bowl. Panthers, Falcons still looking for it in the NFC South. The Cardinals, the only one in the NFC West, still looking for their championship. In the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, the only one missing a championship right now. Bengals, Browns, both looking for a Super Bowl in the AFC North. The Titans, Jaguars, and Texans, all of them have never. Two of them have never been to a Super Bowl. And they do not have a Super Bowl champion, the three of them. And then
it kind of makes sense because the NFC East is a really old division. Like, they all have really old teams.
Right. And that ultimately that's part of the reason why they're the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
Technically, too, the NFC South in this NFC South last year was the first division to have all their teams in the Super Bowl
since the realignment.
Yeah, since the realignment. Yeah, so that was that's also a key thing as well. to remember. A lot of those teams are newer on the newer
Yeah.
side. And then the Chargers are the only one in the AFC West who do not have a championship. So
Okay.
a lot of interesting there. The distractions narrative is a myth. In terms of the distractions caused by the anthem controversy, the Eagles were one of the most outspoken teams during the people on the team at least were one of the most outspoken in favor of Kaepernick, participated in the protest, whether that be by kneeling or by standing with the fist in the air. Chris Long, he's been very involved in social justice as well with his donating all his checks to local schools, and he's played the game for free all season long. And Malcolm Jenkins, of course, being the one to lead the charge in the NFL to get social activism sponsored by the NFL. And all these people that are like, well, that's a distraction. That's not gonna win you guys games. You're gonna distract from the team. Yeah, all right, buds. The Eagles are gonna really enjoy the parade as they're dealing with their distractions. All right. Anyways, here's an interesting one. Nick Saban's Alabama, and Bill Belichick's Patriots have never won a title in the same year.
True.
That has continued this year. The 1990 Giants narrative is complete. As I know that blew your mind a few weeks ago when I talked about it.
Yeah.
Now it's official. You got the Eagles win against the AFC East team, and weirdness all around. Curses broken and still alive. The white jerseys have finally fallen for the first time since 2010 when the Steelers lost. But meanwhile, the MVP curse and the Madden curse remain alive. If you count the Madden curse as getting so close to winning the Super Bowl and then losing, there's your Madden curse, and then of course the
usually
MVP.
The curse has to do with injury, but
yeah, that's true. But hey,
Tom Brady's spirit was injured, which was good enough for me.
There you go, and of course, like I said, MVP. That has not happened since 1999 when Kurt Warner was the quarterback of the Rams. Real cool story. I don't know if you know a guy named John Dornbos.
Do not recognize the name.
He was the Eagles' long snapper for a long time. He was a magician on America's Got Talent. And he got a huge fan base from that. Unfortunately had to retire this past offseason because of heart issues that was going to prevent him from playing. The Eagles said that he will get a Super Bowl ring for this championship. They'll give him a ring. He'll be part of this championship team in that sense. And then last few things. I just wanted to kind of look at these two teams now, the Eagles and Patriots, and what to look forward to. And with the Patriots, I think that the uncertainty angle that people have, really talked about and really hammered in has been a bit overblown. Because I think that this team is still built to compete next year and will continue as long as Brady and Belichick are going to remain with the team. And we just had a plot twist occur right before we went live.
Literally a minute before we hit call.
Yeah. And it involves Josh McDaniels, who everyone thought was going to the Patriots. There was rumblings this weekend of him potentially backing out on the Colts deal and remaining with the Patriots. That ended up not happening initially, and then the Colts announced that he would become the head coach this afternoon, saying that the press conference would be this Wednesday at 4 p.m. They had the whole thing set up. They had a whole article talking about it, everything, all that. And then Adam Schefter, ESPN, a guy that gets everything in terms of breaking news in the NFL. Stunner. Josh McDaniels is going to remain with the Patriots for 2018 as offensive coordinator. That is insane. It reminds me a lot of what Belichick did to the Jets back in 1999, or 2000 rather, when he said that he'd become the head coach and then decided, you know what, that's not, I don't want that to be the case. I want my opportunity with somewhere else, and ended up going with the Patriots, and the rest is history. This it's just insane. It's the top 10 anime portrayal. It really is. It is absolutely insane. I like, my jaw hit the floor because I was just like, wow. You know, if there is anything to say, I know that there was some Patriots fans that were really upset and like were worried about the future. I think that McDaniels coming back is huge, and that's going to mean a lot for that team going forward. I know you still lose Patricia, but let's face it, you guys were kind of disappointed in Patricia's performance in the Super Bowl anyway with his defense. So I don't know if you're going to be too sad about that. You get McDaniels back, and there's, I think there was reports that followed after all this that Belichick is expected to remain with the Patriots, which I was not expecting otherwise with him.
No.
So Belichick, Brady, McDaniels, they all come back, but there is still some things that are uncertain for the team. One of those things is Rob Gronkowski, and after the game, he said that he's going to think about his future because he does not know right now whether he wants to keep playing, mainly because I'm going to assume because of all the injuries, and he's had as incredible a career as he's had. I think that he deserves to get into the Hall of Fame when he, you know, whenever he retires, and you know, that 5-year wait, I think he should get in immediately. But he's been dealing with a lot of injuries, and I can't blame a guy to walk away. It'd be really sad because he's really fucking fun to watch. Like, if you put biases aside with the Patriots, he's so much fun. He catches every ball that comes his way. He's just incredible. And it's just that it would be a real shame for that organization, for the Patriots. I'm sure that they'd be okay ultimately, but it would be a sad end because you kind of want to see him play a little bit longer. Malcolm Butler obviously is another one. You know, obviously we talked about him earlier. We don't know where we probably think he's going to be heading out of New England. That's the message that I got across. And a few of the other important Patriots offensive players, Deion Lewis is a free agent, and Mandola once again a free agent. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty here. And I don't think that, you know, I don't think that this is going to be the downfall of the Patriots dynasty yet. I think we have a few more years before that happens, but there's some key members of this run and the past few runs that might be walking away here. So that's going to be very interesting moving forward there. On the opposite side of the spectrum, the Eagles' certainty. The Eagles are absolutely the Eagles are absolutely in line to continue to compete, continue to be in the mix. Carson Wentz is, if he comes back healthy, which I'm sure he will, they should not rush him. All of their key players are signed through 2020. Like, they are really, really set to continue to be like just prominent presence, especially if Doug Peterson continues having the season he had last year.
100%.
You know, I'm so certain that they're gonna be in the mix still that we're gonna probably start hating the Eagles after a while because they're gonna start winning everything. It's gonna be like,
that's not how the NFC works.
That's true. The NFC is too deep. I agree with you on that front. But they're going to continue being in the mix, and I'm looking forward to them being involved, and hopefully Wentz could one day himself lead the Eagles to another Super Bowl. But for now, it's Nick Foles, and he's going to be one to keep on track of too, because he's going to be going into. Well, he's not in free agency. He's still under contract, but people were thinking that maybe the Eagles will trade him for some draft picks or whatever. Although, I mean, I don't think that they should get rid of him because, one, you don't know if Carson Wentz is going to be healthy. You might want to have someone that's reliable, and Nick Foles, can't believe I'm saying that, to be behind him at least, and then maybe prior to the trade deadline, once Carson Wentz is back healthy 100%, maybe then you trade for Nick Foles. Like, you don't need to trade him this offseason.
No.
I think you keep him. I truly do. I understand that you might want to. It's enticing, I understand, but I absolutely think that they should keep with him, and he deserves to be there the night the banner goes up in Philadelphia. That Thursday night game, that to me, I really hope that he's there for that. He needs to be the one coming out of the tunnel with it or something. I don't know. But overall, a perfectly chaotic season, as you put it. This was a season of injuries, a season of bad football played at times. A season of bad rulings that really changed the game and left a sour taste in our mouths. A season of protest and controversy on that front. But utter chaos made up for it. And I think that what almost was a product of all that was the utter chaos that it spawned. Like you said earlier, like it was really a perfect storm. Everything that happened, especially on the NFC side of things, that all these teams made it in that not a lot of people expected to be in. No one expected the Packers to be out of the playoffs. No one expected the Seahawks to be out of the playoffs. And who knew that the Jaguars would be the last two teams remaining in the AFC? Like that's insane. That's insanity. Yeah. And who knew that Case Keenum would be leading his team for as long as he was and having the spectacular season? Who knew in November that the man that we'd be talking about the most after Super Bowl Sunday is Nick Foles? Who knew that he's the guy that we'd be idolizing, the guy that we'd be saying, he is going to just go down. No matter what happens in his career, he's always going to have this. It is unbelievable. It is truly, truly unbelievable. And I loved this year. I nearly cried watching the Super Bowl, watching the ending, because it was just such an overwhelming amount of holy crap. This season in all of its entirety perfectly represents what Team Chaos is. It is not pretty. It is not this beautiful butterfly flying through the air and all that. It is a caterpillar with a machine gun. That's Team Chaos, and it's just in that sense, it's really disturbing, but I love the shit out of it, and that I really feel like is Team Chaos. Like that, I am so excited that we have a season like this, and it will be that Super Bowl I will remember for the rest of my life. And I want more. I'd love to see more. I want to see more teams who have never won the Super Bowl win it. I don't care if that means but teams like the Giants have to fucking wait decades and decades to get a Super Bowl. Like even I would give up my fandom to have new teams and new things happening for chaos to happen And I wouldn't mind it if it involved great dynasty teams going down like the Patriots and whatever dynasty happens after the Patriots. So I'm here for it. I love it, and respect to everyone involved in that Super Bowl. It was great. It was excellent, and ah, so good, so fucking good.
Yeah.
We blew our bold predictions.
No shit.
Yeah, Super Bowl bold predictions really blew on that front. I really thought Jimmy Fallon and the Roots would make an appearance. Fallon did kind of, but he was not on stage. He kind of just introed Jimmy, in like a weird. He was like inside of a Coca-Cola sign or Pepsi Cola sign or whatever. I don't know. It was weird sequence of events. Um, I forgot. I keep on forgetting what the off-field prediction for you was. With the
mascots got into a fight, but that didn't happen.
Nah, that didn't happen. It wasn't testy enough.
Nope.
All right. Quick rundown. For your for the off season. We this is gonna be interesting. I don't know if we'll do any shows in the off season. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's warranted. I think that I definitely want to do a schedule show because I love doing those. I love doing the schedule predictions. And we could certainly try to do a draft show if we wanted to.
Not right now.
Not right now, but when it comes time, like when it's like the week before or whatever it may be.
Just hit me up, and I'll schedule Chet Avery for you.
That's right. He missed. We did not have him last year.
Yeah.
I wonder what he was up to during all that.
Still drinking to get over the Cowboys divisional loss.
Yeah, poor guy. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, we might do some other podcasts in between, maybe Survivor or something. I don't know. We'll see as it comes. But let's do one. We're gonna do one big thing for every single team, real quick. John Dorsey for the Browns. He's the general manager. He has to turn this team around. He's the one to watch this offseason because he's their only hope. Giants, I just wrote quarterback because that's what's gonna happen. Is that this gonna be utilized last year? Are they gonna draft a quarterback? Are they gonna sign a quarterback? Pat Shurmur might bring someone from the Vikings over. Who knows? But we'll see. Texans, my eyes are on J.J. Watt. Is he going to be healthy? He hasn't been playing a full season for a while now. I think his last dominant season was in 2015, I think. Yeah, it's been a long time for him. So that's that. And Matt Nagy with the Bears. I think is the big name to watch because he's going to be the head of what's going to be a huge offensive turnaround. Really a complete shift from what John Fox had going with that team. And it'll be important for them to get receivers as well. The Colts, I actually initially had written down Josh McDaniels. Well, that's not going to happen. Anymore. He actually, real quick update on that. He actually his assistant coaches had signed contracts with the Colts already.
Are you? Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, come on, man. Why? How could you back out on that? That's ridiculous. And you got that deep, and you're like, oh, nope, fucking nope,
asshole.
Too scared to play Bortles. Anyways, so Colts, I think the guy to watch is obviously whoever becomes head coach. Who knows at this point? The search is wide open now. But Andrew Luck, I mean, he's going to be the guy to watch in the sense that is he going to be healthy? Is he actually going to be able to rebound finally and be able to play a full season? Mm-hmm. So we'll see about that. Buccaneers running back. They need a new running back. That's one of the key things. I mean, injuries have been an issue for the Bucks as well. Dirk Cutter is going to be we got to watch as well. But I think running back, they need someone to run the freaking ball. I think the Bucks could be a factor in trading up to get Saquon Barkley. Maybe we'll see. The Jets. I also wrote quarterback. Josh McCown, rather, going to be your quarterback going forward? Or are you going to draft a quarterback? Or are you going to sign a different free agent quarterback? Or are you going to try to go after Kirk Cousins? That's going to be interesting. Well, who knows? Niners, Jimmy G, the man, the myth, the legend, going in into the offseason, undefeated quarterback. Can he repeat and continue that streak going into the regular season? That will be fun. The Broncos, Paxton Lynch. Will he get the starting job for the Broncos, or will they have to go to someone new? Are they going to admit that they failed when they drafted Paxton Lynch in the first round? He is, of course, among the class that had Carson Wentz and Jared Goff in the mix. So it'd be a real shame for the Broncos to have to wear that on their sleeve. Kirk Cousins of the Redskins will no longer be part of the Redskins. Where will he go is going to be a big question. Alex Smith is going to take over with Washington as well. So Kirk Cousins, he will, we'll have to watch and see. That's going to be the biggest free agent story of this offseason. Packers, Brian Gutekunst.
Nice pronunciation.
That is not good. Anyways, he is the general manager, the new general manager, and this team needs to have a really solid free agency and draft. They need to have an amazing offseason because they need to build a great team around Aaron Rodgers. They need this if they want to see Rodgers get a second ring, because that has been a serious issue otherwise. John Gruden for the Raiders is the one to watch there. What's going to happen with him? That's just going to be weird. I don't really have much else to say about that. Larry Fitzgerald, the Cardinals. I'm just really curious to see if he comes back. I know the quarterback is a big question for them and what Steve Wilkes is going to do in his first year, but all eyes are on Larry Fitz. No news on that front if he's going to be coming back or not. Marvin Lewis for the Bengals. He needs to have an incredible year because he's getting chance after chance after chance. When in the world is he finally going to move away from this Bengals team? They're attached at the hip forever. Dez Bryant might have played his last down with the Cowboys. The question will be if he remains with the team or if he goes elsewhere. So that's a storyline. Here's a weird one for the Chargers. I wrote down Los Angeles because you had a pretty good year to start out your Los Angeles tenure. Not like the Rams, who completely had an asinine first season, then kind of rebounded this time around. But the key here is going to be if the Chargers are going to be able to keep on building a fan base in Los Angeles, if they're going to be able to make the playoffs, if they're going to be able to prove to the world that they are going to be there to stay, ultimately. John Schneider, general manager of the Seahawks, is going to be one to watch. He is going to be making a whole bunch of big decisions this offseason, including getting rid of a lot of great defensive players. So that's going to be huge. Richard Sherman most likely out. Cam Chancellor might be done. Cliff Averill might be done. Michael Bennett might be heading out. A lot of players might be out the window for the Seahawks. Ravens, John Harbaugh. The Ravens admitted that they thought of firing him this offseason. They did not. So I say he's on the hot seat going into this next season. He needs to have a good one. Matt Patricia of the Lions, what is he going to do? Is he going to turn around that organization? And then the Bills, I wrote down quarterback again, Tyrod Taylor, or free agent, or will they be able to trade up in the draft with those 2 first-round picks to get their quarterback of the future? Norv Turner leading the offense for the Panthers. What is he going to do? Patrick Mahomes leading the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs. Is he going to be able to play at a high level, higher than Alex Smith? Sean McVay is going to be the guy going forward with the Rams and going to be, the face of that organization moving forward. Will he continue to have good years going forward? Matt LaFleur with the Titans, offensive coordinator, going to try to turn around Marcus Mariota. That's the key to watch there. The Falcons, Steve Sarkisian of the offensive coordinator of the Falcons. And he had a really rough year, needs to bounce back. Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, I think, will be on the hot seat this offseason. He needs to be able to have an incredible year and finally knock out those Patriots, the pesky Patriots that keep on beating their ass. The Saints, the Saints, I wrote the Minneapolis Miracle because they need to overcome one of the greatest playoff finishes in the history of the NFL. That is a rough one, especially Marcus Williams. Let's see if they can do it. They have a roster to keep it going. Guess who the guy is for the Jaguars? Blake Bortles is going to be the guy to watch this offseason. He might get some extra money because he had a wrist injury and he has injury money guaranteed. If he has a physical in March and does not pass it, he'll get some extra moolah, which might be bad for the Jaguars because that means that's less money that they could spend on a potential quarterback if they want to replace him. I could see them trying to draft a quarterback. I think they should try to. I think they need to get someone in there to compete with Blake Bortles. That's their number one position group, as well as wide receiver. Allen Robertson, Marcus Lee, they are on the free agency market right now. They need to get those guys signed back, or they need to go get a big-time wide receiver. Maybe Des Bryant if he hits the market. Case Keenum is the guy to watch in Minnesota. But in addition to Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Bradford, all three of those guys are going to be free agents. Who are Minnesota going to choose? Are they going to go maybe someone outside of those three? Who knows? I think they should give Case Keenum another shot, but that's just me. We'll have to see. The Patriots, done. Instead of not done, done is the key thing. They're going to be hearing that all season long, that they're done. They're done. They're done. Are they really done, though? That's going to be... They're going to use that bulletin board material, and let's see how they use it going into next season. And finally, for the Eagles, Carson Wentz. Will he be healthy? Will he be able to take over this team week 1? Or will Nick Foles or another backup quarterback take over? And maybe an argument for Nick Foles being out in Philadelphia, maybe being traded. They have a lot of confidence in Nate Sudfeld, who is the guy behind Nick Foles. Maybe he ends up being the backup quarterback to Carson Wentz. But again, we'll have to see what happens. I'm so sorry about that. That took a lot, but there you go. That is all the big things to watch this off season. I need a drink.
There's a 30% chance I fell asleep during that.
Any chance that you should up that up to 70?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Well, now you get to participate, Gocubs, because we got some predictions for the offseason. And by the way, I did not get the chance before the podcast to listen, but I went back and looked at my last year's predictions after the Super Bowl, and I said at the time that the Eagles would go from worst to first in the AFC East. Did not think that they would win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is that. I do not know about anything else. I think maybe I think I predicted something with the Bears and Jets with quarterbacks. I'm not too sure. But all I know is that you got your franchise quarterback and the Jets are still looking for theirs. So there's that. All right, let's start with free agency. Give me one prediction for free agency for this upcoming round.
The Bears are either going to acquire Jarvis Landry or Danny Amendola.
Ooh, I like it. So that would be Danny Amendola coming probably in from free agency if the Patriots choose not to sign him. Certainly a possibility. Or you got Jarvis Landry getting traded That or no, well, no, he's a
No,
free
he's
agent.
free agent.
He's a free agent as well. Never
Yeah.
mind. Yes, there you go. Um, I decided to have a little fun with my prediction. I said that Kirk Cousins will sign with the Vikings, and then Case Keenum is going to sign with the Cardinals, Teddy Bridgewater is going to sign with the Buffalo Bills, and Sam Bradford's going to sign with the New York Giants. That's all one prediction. If I get one of those wrong,
Okay.
if I get one of those wrong, then oh well.
Then it doesn't count.
It does not count. It does not
Like
count.
Bradford could go to the Broncos instead of the Giants, but the rest would be right, and it would
It'd
still be wrong.
wrong. It'd still be wrong. It is all one prediction.
I would lose my shit if that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, what about your draft prediction?
My draft prediction is that Saquon Barkley
Yeah.
will be slept on for the first 5 picks, and the Jets with the 6th pick will draft him.
Oh, I like where this is going. I like it. I said that 6 quarterbacks will go in the first round
Okay, that's
because it's a deep class. There's a lot of teams that would be desperate for a quarterback. Why not go after some of those guys? I mean, ultimately you have 4 guys who are first round talents, and then I could see Lamar Jackson and Mason Rudolph being also 2 guys thrown in there for the first round. But you know, we'll see if that ends up going down. All right, and then after that, your early Super Bowl prediction.
I really want to see 49ers Jaguars.
49ers Jaguars. Um, I'm gonna say this was tough for me. I like going a little bit. I like being edgy with my Super Bowl picks as well. So I'm gonna go Rams and Texans in the Super Bowl 53.
Uh,
What?
why would you choose the Texans?
Deshaun Watson, J.J.
Oh,
Watt,
I was
defensive.
thinking Titans. Oops. Okay, I agree. Texans, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, Titans, no, they're
Yeah.
far off. The
No, yeah, Texans, sure, yeah, cool.
Texans and Rams, but I also added though I added more so that way I'm more likely to get it wrong because chaos. Rams will beat the Niners in the NFC Championship game, and the Texans will beat the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. So back to back.
Don't extend the Jaguars' misery.
Yeah, I know, but I had to do it, and I think that battle is gonna be a lot better. That rivalry is gonna get good next off season or next season generally rather. I gotta say, thinking about it now, I feel really bad about the Colts losing Josh McDaniels, which doesn't mean that they can't find a new quarterback, a new head coach rather.
Yeah.
But that was gonna. I feel like his presence would have made the AFC South even more fun than it was already going to be. It's kind of. I think the Jaguars and Texans are going to be the favorite next season in terms of the AFC South. With the Titans, with the Titans lingering, maybe they make a rebound. They had a nice defense going. Maybe Marcus Mariota rebounds. Who knows? All right, some bold predictions. Go ahead, start with your first one.
Okay. Should I go from what should I go from? Like most likely to least likely?
Well, that's kind of how I did my predictions, so I would
Okay.
say I would do the same for you.
All
So,
right.
first bold
Most
prediction.
most likely the Browns are gonna fuck up.
Really bold, Gocubs. In what way, though?
Either in the draft, in anyone they sign, it's not gonna be pretty. Like they're gonna whoever they end up drafting with their 2 first-round picks they're gonna flop.
So you're going for the long haul here. Then this is not like immediately. Gocubs.
Some shit is gonna happen. The Browns are gonna continue being really bad.
Let's make it so that the measure is they get immediately scrutinized. Like that is
sure.
that immediately people are saying that they just made an absolute awful move, and how in the world could you possibly do that? Like,
Yeah, re-sign Johnny Manziel. There you go.
they imagine, Jesus Christ. All right, next, for me, I said Des Bryant will be a Patriot. Um,
Oh,
Patriots tend to pick up these veterans who seem like they're washed up, and then end up having incredible seasons. They need a tall wide receiver to get those big time plays. I think Des Bryant would be perfect for that organization. So I think that's a good possibility of happening. What about your medium your medium prediction?
okay. Mine actually also has to mine has to do with the Vikings quarterbacks, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
I said Bradford and Bridgewater remain Vikings, and
Okay.
Keenum starts somewhere else.
So
Keenum is a starter somewhere else.
So Keenum is the odd man out after all of that. Like
Yeah,
so they re-sign Bridgewater and they re-sign Bradford, but they completely get rid of Keenum altogether.
yeah.
Wow. All right. Interesting. And
Well,
then,
they'll yeah, I don't know, trade him or whatever.
well, he is. They are all three of them are free
They're all
agents.
free agents. Okay.
So they would have to. That means they go out of their way to sign Bridgewater and
Like
Bradford
I said,
and
Keenum.
and just let Keenum go somewhere else. That would, yeah, that I think that's pretty bold. Um, I think that if that happens, I would that would mean that they have a lot of faith in at least one of those guys, probably
Uh,
Bridgewater. But Bradford's had his moments though.
yeah.
Um, all right, for mine, but once again with the free agency, I think that Richard Sherman's gonna be a Ram. So goes
Wow.
right to the remains in the NFC West. It goes to the best NFC West team, or at least the second best, or even the third. No, no. The top, they go from like the third best NFC West team to maybe one of the first or second ones. If we gotta say the Niners are better than the Seahawks as of now, who knows?
Yeah.
But the definitely it would be interesting if he pulled that move. Um, I think Sherman could also easily be a candidate for the Patriots as well, but I didn't want to do two Patriot predictions back to back.
Yeah.
All right. What's your ultimate bold prediction?
Okay. Le'Veon Bell will sign to another team for around a week, give or take a couple days, before getting immediately traded back to the Steelers.
I feel like just him signing with our team is bold enough, but the fact that he would get traded back to the Steelers,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that team is doing, but clearly they do not they get a little taste of Bell and don't want any more.
Two of my predictions are actually tied. That other team is the Browns.
Oh my god.
Oh, what can I say, Crow? Back, it'll be fine.
I feel like I feel like the Browns are going to be tied to each and every single one of those bold predictions. Like you have the Browns, they're going to sign Case Keenum, and then they're going to get Le'Veon Bell in free agency, and then decide to trade him back to the Steelers for some fucking reason. And everyone's just like, and they decide because they have Case Keenum that they're going to not even pick a quarterback in the first round, that they're going to completely roll with him, and he's going to have a terrible year, and it just complete and utter meltdown just occurs in the Cleveland area. Oh Jesus! My bold prediction that most likely will not happen. P. Diddy, Steph Curry, and Colin Kaepernick will all get together and buy the Carolina Panthers. They talked about it on Twitter, and they were trying to get it together. I don't know if it will. I highly doubt that the NFL owners are going to let that happen.
Yeah.
But I'm just putting it out there now. It would be really awesome if that happened. That they will be the ones ultimately that own the Carolina Panthers when the season's over. I forgot about that when I made my little list of Panthers things. I should have mentioned Jerry Richardson, or of the one big thing rather. Jerry Richardson going to be selling his team, so who knows what the future of the Carolina Panthers organization is going to be. I don't know. But yeah, that's the factor I ended up going with there. Um, and real quick update on the Josh McDaniels story. The current news now is that there's a chance that Andrew Luck may not be healthy in time for the regular season again. Potentially needs more surgeries, which would be a big hit to the Colts again,
Yeah.
and it might be part of the reason why Josh McDaniels decided that he did not want to pursue working with the Colts moving any longer, at least. So interesting indeed. That was a bombshell. I kind of enjoyed it though. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
You don't expect that kind of news to happen after the Super Bowl, and then just a fucking bomb goes off. And so, Patriots fans, you're good. You guys will be good for next year, and I can see that team being back in the Super Bowl again next year. But AFC, you're on notice. Get your fucking act together and beat that team. You gotta do it. Anyways, go Cubs. Do you have any last words for the season or just for this podcast at all?
This has been a really fucking weird year for me, and a lot of just a lot of like changes that have been happening in personal life, and this season, this football season being so fun and being able to have someone to talk about it with and go through this with has been really awesome. So thanks for being awesome, dude.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you being part of it, and I think what made it so fun was that you had been part of past shows. You were part of the postseason predictions,
Yeah.
and those were really fun. I never thought that you'd be able to write it out because of how busy you end up getting with marching band and all that. But
Yeah.
you're able to do it almost every single week. I think there was only 1 week where I had to do it alone.
Yeah.
But
And thanks for being flexible with me too.
yeah, absolutely. You absolutely made this podcast better. Um, I think that I think overall, you get again that mode of having to ramble and ramble. I still do, but when when I have someone to at least balance it out, it's really awesome. And I think that your football knowledge has gotten so much better over the course of the season. I think that the more that you watch and the more you just study almost every aspect of it all, or whenever at least you get the chance to, that you're gonna be talking like me soon,
Look,
and it's gonna
I
be
get,
awesome.
I get, uh, like when I get into something, I really get into it, and
Hmm.
that's kind of helped this year for me at least with just
Absolutely,
getting into football more.
absolutely, and
Know as much as you can. Knowledge is fun, and
that's what it is. I mean, to me, it was so much fun to learn about the NFL because there's so much to it.
yeah,
Um, and to kind of I don't even know how I fucking got to this point where I'm able just to know everything about these teams. I don't fucking know what's wrong with me. But I'm I love it, and I enjoy every aspect of it. And when there's times that I'm low on it and it sucks, and the NFL does something stupid, or the Patriots continue to dominate, and whatever happens that makes me upset about it, I try to remember all the great things that happened along the way. And it's there's nothing like the NFL, and I would love to get into the other sports the way that I'm into football, but there's just it's hard comparison to make.
yeah,
But it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed this season, and I really enjoyed having you on. Thank you for being part of it, and I want to close out this season, this 2017 season, with an inspiring quote that was told to a journalist just recently. I think the big thing is don't be afraid to fail. I think in our society today, Instagram, Twitter, it's a highlight reel. It's all the good things. And then when you look at it, when you think like, wow, when you have a rough day, my life's not as good as that, you think you're failing. Failure is part of life. It's a part of building character and growing without failure. Who would you be? I wouldn't be up here if it hadn't fallen thousands of times, made mistakes. We are all human. We all have weaknesses. And I think throughout this, it's been important to be able to share that and be transparent. I know when I listen to people speak and they share their weaknesses, I'm listening because it resonates. So I'm not perfect. I'm not Superman. I might be in the NFL. I might just have won a Super Bowl. But hey, we still have daily struggles. I still have daily struggles. And that's where my faith comes in. That's where my family comes in. I think when you look at a struggle in your life, just know that just an opportunity for your character to grow, and that's just been the message. Simple. If something's going on in your life and you're struggling, embrace it because you're growing. Nick Foles, Eagles Super Bowl champion, 2K18.
That's beautiful.
And that is the MMG Podcast 2017 NFL season. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a blast, and I cannot wait for 2018. It's gonna get weird.
These next like 6 months or so are gonna fucking suck because I'll have to listen to baseball and talk radio.
If you follow free agency and in the draft like I do, the NFL's never dead. But that's it's gonna be sad not to see the game being played though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys again. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another.
Remember. Just remember.
Have a little Foles in your life. Put a little Foles in your heart.
By the way, I have a friend who's an Eagles fan, and he was upset that he couldn't find a pole on the street. He lives in Central Illinois, but he couldn't find a pole on the street. So I sent him a text, and I said, "You don't need poles when you got Foles." Good night, everyone.
We'll see you guys next season. Bye-bye.